It finally rained on our homestead. It has been over 3 weeks since rain has touched our land, so I was excited to see and feel it again. After it rains, there's something so magical about seeing the earth dressed in green come to life, even more than before. Seeing the plants stand tall, bursting with light and new energy, more vibrant in color as it spreads its leaves against the dark contrast of the wet soil beneath it. In the Midwest, it's unusual to have such a dry spell this time of year. It reminds me of my years living in the dry desert of Arizona, when you wouldn't see rain for weeks, sometimes months. Every day, you were guaranteed sun, waking up expecting it. But when it would finally rain, it was such an event, watching the dark clouds roll in, the winds change, and the energy become electric as water fell from the sky like a gift from the gods. It was something to cherish, and I feel that way now. I've been spending a lot of time in the garden. The plants are really starting to grow. This is one of my favorite times of the year, just before the intense heat of summer settles in, when everything is bursting with new life and the garden really starts to take shape. The trees I planted last year are starting to grow, get their leaves, and spread their roots deeply into the ground. I cannot wait until they start producing fruit. Being outside during those hot, dry days kept me in the garden more frequently. And as I watered the plants, I got to really see what was going on, inspecting each plant, making sure it was getting what it needed. I also noticed that the diversity in my beds was really starting to pay off. Everything looked so healthy, strong, with no signs of pests. I remember last year, I transplanted just about everything in my garden, started seeds early in hopes of having a longer season to enjoy all of the food I was growing, but I also had a lot more pest issues. So this year, direct sowing every seed I planted, having more variety of plants growing in my garden beds, and keeping my soil protected with mulch has helped reduce the pest issues in such a big way. And even though that means having a later start in the season for harvesting more food, it's worth it. The plants seem happier being surrounded by so many different plants. I notice this in myself too. When I step out of my routine, go to a new place, or surround myself with new people, there's something electrifying about that. It takes you out of your comfort zone and gives you a fresh perspective on life. A new way of looking at the world, experiencing it in a different way. It can feel new, exciting, and since energy is fluid, it can move into other areas of your life as well, allowing you to be more creative and lifting you out of a stagnant place that you may have been in before. The baby chicks outgrew their space, so it was time to put them outside and introduce them to the rest of the flock. I'll keep them in a separate coop until the other hens get used to them being around, to make the transition a little easier. I know. Oh. Come here. I know. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, oh, oh. Woo! Woo! Oh, no. Okay. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. There you go. There you go. Okay. There you go. Wow, look at that. You get to be outside and you shit on me. Oh, oh, oh God. Ew. Some of you may remember how we get water on our homestead. We have a well here, but it's a shallow one, so it doesn't supply enough water for our entire household. So we have to have water delivered to our home every other month, which goes into our cistern. We also have a few rain tanks, which is how we water the garden, chickens, and goats. Recently, the man who delivers our water had an emergency surgery that kept him in bed recovering for over a month, so he wasn't able to deliver our water. Luckily, our neighbor let us run a chain of hoses from her home to fill our cistern, but we knew we'd have to come up with another solution if we get in a bind like this again. The man who delivers our water is older and experiencing a lot of health issues, and unfortunately, there aren't many people in our area that delivers it, so we didn't want to be dependent on him or anyone else for our water. So we bought a gently used utility trailer and picked up a secondhand water tank from a local neighbor that was never used. This will allow us to get our own water to fill our cistern instead of relying on someone else to do it for us. As summer approaches, the heat is becoming more intense. I've been getting outside early in the morning to do most of my garden work, but finding other ways to stay cool. I love being outside when the weather is this nice. We spend months staying warm inside during the harsh winter season, so when I can finally enjoy the sun, I just want to be in it. But too much heat can be really hard on the body and mind. So I've been playing with a combination of plants that are perfect for summer, that keeps the body cool, uplifts the mood, and balances the body and mind. It's an herbal tea blend that I can enjoy hot or cold, looks amazing when brewed, and tastes delicious, especially when I put a little bit of honey in it. Summer is a time for growth, motion, and abundance. It's the season of fire, so with that can come burnout and excess heat in the body. With the cooling herbs of hibiscus and rose hips, combined with the calming linden flower and a hint of citrus and ginger, this tea supports the nervous system and helps keep the body cool as we move into the hot and busy days of summer. It's now one of my favorite things to drink this summer, and it's available for you to try too. You can find it on my website at thenakedgardener.us. Using plants to help you transition through the seasons is a great way to deepen your connection to nature and to find more balance in your health and life. It's all connected. We are not separate from it. The plants, the birds, the insects, the trees, and we all have a purpose here to support one another, to create life and see it thrive. The earth wants us to be well and provides us with the plants to do that. And in turn, we should do our best to keep her well. It's a cycle of give and receive, a selfless one, rooted in love and compassion, and the desire for all of life to be free and cared for.